All right, so ladies, I had sent you the vocabulary. Let's see if you could see me. Nope, there's the basket. I don't know why it doesn't. Gonna make this bigger.
Kaddish.
So with vocabulary,
The Kaddish
not the
vocabulary.
Kaddish, but the Kaddish.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, unfortunately, a lot of us are attending online, a Kaddish, friends, people in the family. So there's a lot of the vocabulary. And I wanted to go over the Kaddish. I told you to look it over, but we'll read it. And the idea in the Kaddish, it does not mention death, dying, sick, sorry, none of that. It's just praise of God. And so really what it is a reaffirmation, even in the face of death. Now, my mind, of course, runs into thinking about the Holocaust, how we once had Elie Wiesel at our synagogue, and he said, those who survived and lived to tell about it either became religious or lost their faith in God. And I remember that comment from him. I just thought that was a very probably very true comment. Those who could try to celebrate holidays and try to get a piece of candle and light something, for Hanukkah, or those who remembered, okay, this is Yom Kippur, we're not eating anyway, so what's the difference? But those who tried to keep the holidays and keep the faith probably came out with faith. And those who gave up probably just came out without any belief. So I think that saying the Kaddish, to me, has a lot of different connotations, but it reaffirms faith, and that's what it is. So a lot of people must have died in the camps and they said Kaddish, but what they were saying was they were proclaiming their ongoing faith in God, which is mind-blowing, which is very hard to imagine. But I'm sure a lot of you know people who survived. I don't have anyone in my family, but I imagine that some of you do, or friends, people, elderly people in the congregation. And so it's an amazing concept that this prayer, you say it at a cemetery. My friends, I told you my friend's husband passed away, and we went to the cemetery. It was a small group because of COVID, and we're saying that, so it's poignant. It's very poignant. All right, so we first take a look. If you have that page 53 from the book, from the Shalom Aleichem book, and that's where the Kaddish is.
What did you say? What page is it in Shalom Aleichem?
It was 53 in Shalom Aleichem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the top of that page talks about the letter Vav as a special letter, which means and it's attached to the word. It's attached to the next word. And in this case, a lot of action words, a lot of verbs that praise God in all different ways. Look, may he be exalted, may he rule, may he be praised, glorified, may he be held on high, may he be lifted up, may he be honored, elevated, extolled. I mean, somebody actually got out a dictionary, and when they were making this prayer, they must have had a Hebrew dictionary, and all the different words that they could figure, and all the different root words for praise. And here they are. I mean, it's amazing. So we have on those 4 lines just some practice. Like the first line says, Ve Kaddash. So it means and, that's the ve. The yud is he, and it shows he in the future tense. Vayit Kaddash. He will praise himself. Vayit Kaddash. Vayamlich. Vayishtabach. Vayit Pa'ar. Vayit Romam. A lot of these verbs are reflexive. When it has vayit or vayesh, it's reflexive. It's a verb that the action is on the speaker. Like, may he glorify himself. May he rule. Well, may he praise. This is may he be
That's
praised.
what vayit means. Vayit means.
The yit.
May
Yeah,
he.
it's a reflexive.
Okay.
So like when you want to say I wash, vayit rachetz.
Uh-huh.
So it means I
Vayit
wash
means
myself.
may he, huh?
Yes, so that's
Okay.
how it comes. All right, so why don't we do the first line together? All right. So
Of the
I'll say it
actual
instead of
prayer
asking
or
you.
this stuff, line 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you talking about that or the actual prayer?
Yes, the top of page 53. Yeah, let's get those words, some of those new words. Let's make sure we can say them. All right, I'll say them and say them after me because we have not met in 2 weeks. Vayit Kaddish,
Vayit Kaddish.
Kaddish,
Vayamlich,
Vayamli,
Vayish Tabach,
Vayish
Tabach,
Vayit Pa'ar,
Vayit Ar.
Vayit Romam.
Romam.
Second line. Vayit Naseh.
Vayit
Say.
Remember the one with the dot on the left? It's a sin to have a dot on the left.
Say.
Vayit Hadar.
Vayit Hadar.
Hadar.
And make sure you see the difference visually between the dalet and the resh. The resh is round, one continuous line. The dalet is the door, it's broken. Okay, and on Passover, of course, they're going to talk about the door, the top of the door to swab that stuck, the blood. So it's Vayit Hadar, Vayit Aleh. And in that word, you see an ayin. Remember, the ayin is silent, like the aleph. So the only thing you pronounce under a silent letter is the vowel, the dancing partner. So it's Vayit A, because the ayin is silent, Le, and the hey at the end, silent. Okay, Vayit A, Le. Then we have Vayit Halal. Okay, so the words with a halal, it's like halal, it has to do with praise, like hallelujah. Hallelujah means praise God. The Yah on the end is God. Hallelujah, you will praise Yah, God. So this is Vayit halal. We know that is a root about praise.
Do you
Okay.
know, this is kind of a like off task, but you know, when you go to an Arab market and their meat or whatever is their version of kosher, it's called halal. Is that the same root? Do you know?
Maybe, I don't know Arabic, but it's
But you know what
possible. It's a
I'm
good
saying.
question. Yeah, I know. We have a halal mark, but you don't go to a halal for kosher meat.
Yeah, I meant there.
Yeah, I know.
There.
You're just talking about the name, but if we are looking for kosher meat, we Jews don't go to the halal market.
Yeah, no, I know.
I guess they could come to us.
But they could go to us and eat kosher
Yeah.
meat is halal to them.
Right, but we
Yeah,
cannot go to,
right.
yeah, I've had students who are Arab from my library class. I was teaching English and they invited me for lunch and I go, well, well, I would like to go, but I have a little problem. And, you know, then I had to tell them about kashrut. Oh. You know, then I have, teaching English and I have all these Hispanic ladies, and whenever we'd have a party, they're the most generous in the world. And they'd come with giant pots of food. And I would look at pot with the rice and I would go, what's in that? Oh, there's a pernil, it's pork and rice. Oh, thanks. And then what's in this one? So I'd wind up eating salad and cake. And, you know, and then I would tell them, look, if you're going to make tamales, do me a favor. Can you make some with beans and cheese so that I could eat it? Don't put any meat in it. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Line 3. V'shirata. Now you're going to see an aleph on the end. That means that word is Aramaic. Now, Aramaic was a spoken language in biblical times. Hebrew was a learned language. So it's by Shirata. In regular Hebrew, modern Hebrew, we're not seeing an aleph on the end. So we know that's from Aramaic. And it's V'nechemata, V'nechemata, V'imru. V'imru means and. you will say, and you know that after the Imru, you're gonna say Amen.
Amen.
That's the end. The Imru, Amen, and say, and it's in the plural. So the word vit and the Imru, and you say, and then everybody
Amen.
says Amen, the Imru, Amen. Okay, so it's from the verb Omer, like we used to play Shimon Omer. Simon says, Yadayim al Harosh, Yadayim al Ketetvayim, Yadayim Lamala, Yadayim Lamata, and all the rest. Okay, so Omer, Shimon Omer, Simon says, Aleph Memresh, say the Imru, and you say, Amen.
Amen.
Line 4. V'chayim,
Chaim.
Chayim and life, lives, v'chayim, v'al,
Al.
v'imru,
The
Imru.
v'al,
Al.
v'imru.
Imru.
So the imru is a directive word, okay? So you have to know that's an important word, and say, and then you're gonna say, Amen. So Kaddish,
Carol, so Alice could sleep at night. That doesn't come from the same root. It comes from the Arab root permissible. It
Oh,
means permissible.
ah,
okay? So that's
permissible,
the
very
answer.
good, thank you, Helene.
I can sleep at night.
If you're like me, I'll be up at night. And I'll
Right, thinking
Google
it.
The Arab market, so halal, it doesn't mean praise, it means permissible, but permissible to them.
Right.
Right.
Like we say, kasher or kosher, permissible to us. Very good, now I learned something. Thank you, Helene. All right, so there's no melody to this. Kaddish is said, it's somber when it's said, it's serious. And yet, as I told you, the words are praise, but it's still, the melody is. So I'm gonna read the first 3 lines. We can take it a chunk at a time. So listen, and then I'll have you read it. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah. Shemei rabbah means his great name. So that's Aramaic. Shem Rav or Shem Gadol. Okay, Shemei is his name. Rabbah is great. Be'oma di v'ra chirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye v'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. There's the for imru amen. Okay, you know that part of the prayer is coming with an amen at the end of it. So, all right, is there anybody who would like to try reading the first line? Go ahead, Alice.
Oh,
Go ahead.
hang on. I just got contacts yesterday for distance, but I still need my glasses. So I keep going in and out.
Okay.
I'm really close to the screen, so I apologize. Okay.
Okay.
Yit gadal v'yit karash.
Kadash.
Excuse me.
Okay, now,
Start
it's
over.
really because it doesn't really look, but it's a very small dollar, it's a dollar. And it comes from the root Kodesh. Hi, Charlene.
Hello.
Okay.
I've been
can I
here a
start
while.
over again. Okay, Yit Gadal, V'Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Excellent.
Ba. Oh, am I supposed to continue or somebody else?
Read the whole line, read the whole line. Keep going.
Okay. Ba'alma di Kara.
Vira, it's a vet.
Oh, excuse me. Bara.
Okay, good. I want someone else to try that. How about some of the students who came and joined us in the new thing? Joan, do you want to try it? The first line in the Kaddish.
Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shamei Rabbah Be'al Ma Di Dera.
Very good. Elaine?
Same thing.
Yep.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabah Alma Vara.
Good. Okay, let's go to the next line. Marcia, would you like to try the next line?
In the regular part, the whole prayer at the bottom.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
It starts with Chirute.
It starts with Decol.
No, that's
Above that.
that's the third. The second line. Second line.
Oh, the second line.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kira te.
Okay, so that's a syllable here. That's a shva on the bottom, the two dots under the resh. So that is the end of the syllable here. So you just hear the resh.
Kirate.
Hirute. Okay, so after the resh is an ayin, and that's silent. So we're gonna just pronounce the letter next to it, which is u. That's vowel. Hir u te.
Kirate.
Okay.
Kirate. A.
Hirute.
Kirute. Okay.
Okay, but it's a chaf, not a
Oh.
kaf. So it's going to be hirute.
Ute.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Okay.
It's a yud.
Yeah, but it's a
Yep,
The
yam.
yam. Oh, yam.
Mhm.
The yam leak. The yam
Yes.
leak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Although and the chaf, the final chaf is ch. So it's v'yam li.
The yam
V'yam li. Okay.
Ku ti
Ooh.
lam
Malchu.
malkuti. Is that right?
Te.
Te.
Malchu te.
Te.
Right,
I
the two
gotta
dots.
remember these are te. Okay.
Te. The two dots are a.
Malkute.
Malchute. Good.
Te. But chai. That's a double yud, so that would be
Still yay. It still
but-
sounds like a yeah, like a
yeah,
Y.
right.
Yay.
But chai
Yay.
yay. Cone.
Chon.
Cone.
Chon. Mhm.
Cone.
If it doesn't have a dot, it's a chaf. If it has a dot, it's a kaf. So this is no dot, it's a chaf. B'chayechon.
Cone. Okay.
Okay.
Uv yo me cone.
You got it.
Uv. There's a lot of
I know. Aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
You hit gold.
Uv kaye.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the third line. I see Helene is here. Helene, you're muted.
Which Helene?
Open.
Hannah or
You're
Sylvia?
muted. Helene
No, I
Gans.
mute unless I'm
Yes.
off.
That's okay. So take the third line with Dechol.
I have to find the prayer.
I just
Yes, on the
texted
Kaddish.
you.
The Kaddish. The Kaddish?
Right. The Kaddish. The Morning's Kaddish. It's on page 53 of the text.
I didn't get the text, so. That's
No. I don't know. I don't remember if I think I sent it.
Yeah, I have it someplace. I'm sorry. And I had text
Okay,
about these.
if you have a Siddur, you can get a
Vegas,
Siddur out.
L.
Okay. Find yourself and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Charlene, would you like the third line
Sure.
in the Kaddish? Good.
Yes. Decol. Bait.
Yechol,
Bait. Yisrael. Ba'agala. Uvizman. Kori. Ve'emeru. Amen.
good job, good job. All right, now the next one starts with Yehe.
Okay.
How about Esther?
Okay.
Yaheh, Shema, Shemay,
May,
yeah, Shemay, Rabbah, Mivarek,
Rach.
Rach, Nivarach,
Yivarak, Livalam, Ul, Al, May, Al, Maya.
good, good.
What does a resh mean at the beginning, like in Rabbe? The third.
Nothing. If it's a first letter in a Hebrew root, which is 3 letters, like Rabbah, you know, another name for rabbi, people call it my Rav.
Okay,
Rav is rabbi. You
okay,
can say Rabbi or Rav.
but that's
And
not,
now I think, no, it doesn't mean anything. It's not a
I mean,
prefix. And I
in
think
other
now
words,
some women,
it doesn't mean anything.
it's not a prefix.
Okay,
Right, it doesn't mean anything. Resh does not mean anything by itself. And women, some women who are rabbis call themselves Rabbah instead of Rabbi or Rav, Rabbah.
Carol, could you read
Okay.
that line for us, but slowly, please? Could you read
Which
it?
one?
The one that we
The
just
first
read?
is
4.
Yehei, Shmei, that one?
Yes, but slowly.
Yeah. Yehei, Shmei, Rabbah, Mivarach, Le'olam, Ul Almei, Almaya.
What was that one? Ul Almay?
Ul Almei. Now, I'm not sure if those are Ul Almei because it's Aramaic. Ul Almei, Almaya. I think it's that way. Yehei, Shmei, Rabbah, Mivarach, Le'olam, Ul Almei, Almaya. I think those are both O's. One of those exceptions. Don't
And
forget,
then
it's Aramaic.
Almaya. Okay,
Almaya.
thank you.
I think it's Almaya. Ul Almei, Almaya.
That's one of those, when you say it with
Olmay.
the congregation, you just kind of go, la, 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 la.
Right, but you see, it's Aramaic, so
Yeah,
there's,
I didn't
you know,
know
it's a little
what it
bit different in the pronunciation. Who's ready for Yid Barach?
I am. I'm
okay.
ready now.
Okay, Helene,
Okay.
Okay,
okay,
this is
Go
1, 2, 3, 4.
to-
This is fifth line down?
Yes,
correct.
yes. You can
Oh,
hear
which
me?
Helene are we doing?
Which Helene? Oh, that
This-
Helene?
Wait,
Okay.
Helene,
Sibio Hana.
Well, I have a G.
is that
I'm
Chana?
Chana.
Yeah, go ahead, Hana.
Right, it's Chana, right? Okay, Chana,
Yes.
okay,
Yit
okay,
Barach V'yish Tabach V'it Ar V'it Romam V'it Naseh
Naseh,
Haldar V'it
good. You know, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
ladies that your rabbis better get scared. They better watch themselves because you're right on their tails. Coming up strong. Carol, would you like to do a line or not up to it?
Sure. Which one? Like same line or the next
Okay.
one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 6, starting with Yitaleh.
Okay.
Yes, 6. Yitaleh.
V'yit aleh, v'yit
Mhm.
halal, shemei de
There's that butcher.
shemei de kud shah, be Berith, Berithu, Le, Le'ela.
Good job. Good job. Okay, now sometimes I think it's on the high holidays when you have that La'ela or La'ela where it's repeated. And I'm not sure why, but I think it's just on the high holidays that I've heard the cantor do that. Okay, so we have Min, who would like to do, who hasn't gone yet? Ella,
Okay.
the next
Min.
line, start with Min.
Okay. Min kal bara
Now, that word is always call.
call.
That's one of those exceptions, Min call, it's always call.
Is that Aramaic? Or is that an
No,
Aramaic?
it's regular Hebrew.
Okay.
Call is
call.
always, it's aw sound. Mhm.
Min kal birchata v'shirata tushi but
Wait a minute, Tushi,
tush
Tushi.
tush
End it there. Tush, tush, and it's it.
tush b'chata, okay, v'nechamanta,
V'nechemata, okay. The Amiron, the Oma, the Imru, Amen. There's that Imru. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 4 lines from the bottom. Who hasn't had a chance yet? Where's my Helene? I gotta
I'm
look
here.
back on the other screen.
Okay, yeah, hey.
Divya,
Okay, whoops,
go
you gone.
ahead.
Shehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya B'Chaim Aleinu Be'akol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Finish the line.
And I think the translation here is, Yehe would be, may there be shlama, shalom, because that's Aramaic. May there be peace, great peace. Yehe shlama rabba, may there be great peace. Min shemaya, from shemayim, from heaven.
Ah,
The chayim and life, that's the chayim aleinu, and life for us, the al kol Yisrael, and life to all Israel. There they mean Klal Yisrael, all Israel, the people Israel, not the Medinat Yisrael, is not the state. The Imru Amen. That's a really, so here we are at a cemetery, or here we are at a shiva, or here we are at a yard site, and we're saying the mourner's Kaddish. And this line says, may there be great peace from heavens and life. This is a life-affirming prayer. V'chaim, there it is, and life. It says it. That's what it means. And life, that life goes on, aleinu, for us, and all Israel, and let us say, may it be so. Amen.
and what does
So-
Aleinu mean? What does Aleinu mean?
Upon us,
Upon
on us, like for us, on us. May there be
On
peace on us,
On
upon us. May there be peace. So Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. That is a line which is very significant, I think, in this tefillah, because again, it not only the whole prayer is extolling God, praising God, and now at the end, there's a mourner's Kaddish, and it's saying they're wishing life for us. Life goes on, life and peace for us and all Jews, all Israel. So it really is an amazing psychological wallop. You know, here you're feeling depressed, and you rightfully so lost somebody, and you're remembering somebody, but it says that also remember to live, which is I think that's very sophisticated. it doesn't just dwell on death. I think it's a very strong, I think that, and now it goes on, look at the, Oseh Shalom Bimromav, may there be peace around us. Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Yeah, may there be peace around him. Bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom. He, meaning God, will bring peace, Aleinu, on us, Yal Kol Yisrael, and on all Israel, and let us say, Amen.
Amen.
So when you say Amen, you say, may it be so. You affirm it. You're testifying to that.
Amen.
So say Shalom, may there be peace upon him, God, Bimromav, who and he will bring peace on us and on all Israel. And let's say, may it be so. So it's an interesting prayer. I think people who never really looked at the words will not understand where this prayer is coming from. That is a life-affirming prayer and faith-affirming in God. No matter what, stay steadfast, say the chorus. So it's a pretty...
Carol,
Yes.
I know at the end you step forward and you turn to the sides. Could you tell us the proper way to do that and what that is about?
Bowing,
Well, whenever
little
we do
bowing.
when we do the Amidah, for example, we do the little dance. We go 3 steps forward and 3 steps back. So the idea is you're going towards Adonai. You're going in like you would be at an audience with a king. You're going in, and then you go back to your own space, and you bow. And so you bow right, left. Like if you had an audience with Queen Elizabeth, right? You would bow down. You see these old pictures where the chevaliers, they come and they bow in front of the queen. You're going into the presence of God. You go back into your own space. You're bowing. I don't think it has any more. Helene?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just think it's hilarious because for years I have watched the people who I think know what they're doing, going left, right, or right, left. Is there a significance to the left, right, or the right, left? And I swear to God, at 75, I still can't remember which way they go. I think they go left, right, but I can't remember.
I go right, left, I think.
And you go
I
right,
go
left.
1, 2,
Okay.
3, and then I think I do right, left.
I'm gonna look in the Sim
And
Shalom
then-
because
and
I think it's in
the
there.
Friday night also for the
Does it tell
Shabbat
you
Queen.
someplace? Because I always try to look
No,
at the rabbi or
let's see.
somebody and say, which way are they going? I don't
I think I
anybody
go
cares.
right
I
first.
got her.
Even though I'm left-handed, I think I go right. Anybody know the answer?
I'm gonna look in Sim
Yeah.
Shalom because I think it's in there.
Marcia's looking
Yeah.
it up.
Okay, very good. All right, so are we ready for the big time? Because we do want to get into Passover and it's 1:30 something. But I want you to be able to say the Kaddish. There's some pretty big words here. And Aramaic makes it a little more difficult. But
How
I
do we
want you
know
to
when
be
it's
able to say
Aramaic?
this.
How do you
Yeah,
know when
how do you
How
know
do I-
that?
Carol, I have a
Because,
very quick question. When you say
because the words end in Aleph.
Carol,
Elaine?
yeah, can I ask a quick
Who's-
question? When you say the
Absolutely.
Shema, when you say the Shema, sometimes they put the hand over the eyes and sometimes they don't. How do you know when to do it and when not to do it?
And
You know
sometimes
what?
lift the pinky.
It's custom. It's okay. The pinky is another thing. So a custom. You see people doing it. You're supposed to like avert your eyes. So I just close my eyes. Okay, I'm saying the Shema, I close my eyes, and that's that. You want to put your hand up, okay, that's fine. And then when the Torah comes out, you put your pinky up towards it. It's like you're extending yourself towards God. It's all those little movements that show you're going into the presence of the Almighty.
But it's all
Okay,
custom,
so that's
like you said.
It is custom, and you'll see different customs. You'll see there were people who were from, I think, Persia or from Iran in our synagogue, and they would come. She would come up to the ark, and she would hold her hands in front of her face and do all kinds of stuff. You know, like she would go like this and she would bow. But that wasn't my custom. I had not seen that. I mean, it was nice to share customs with people, but you know, to each his own. Ashakon son gu. Everybody has their own gu. So, all right, let's try this slowly, and then we're going to begin some study of Passover. Even though you may have a very small Seder, I want to start explaining things, and so it's a chance for you to dig in.
I
and
have the
learn a lot.
answer. I have the answer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is like Jeopardy.
Yeah. Oh, do I win $1,000? Okay.
Not yet.
This is from, oh, wait a minute. Okay. This is from the Chabad book.
Oh, Chabad.
Oh, Chabad, yes. Well, I went there for a little while, so I got their book.
Okay.
Take 3 steps back, then bow to the right, saying, Osei
Oh, I
Shalom,
said right.
to the right, saying,
Right.
Osei Shalom bim Rabav, bow forward,
Who y'all say?
saying, who, then bow to the left,
Right.
saying, Yea, Osei Shalom Oleinu,
Down
and
to
bow
the right.
forward, saying, all kol Yisrael vimru omein. So you break it up.
I go, you know, I would go forward, back. I would say, say shalom b'marav, hu say shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. I take 1 step forward and bow.
That's right.
Finito.
Okay.
Right,
close
left,
enough,
forward, bow, done.
Close
I'll
enough.
share this with everybody,
And
just
then
as a
you do
hoot.
you do the hokey pokey and you turn.
You turn yourself around.
You took the words out of my mouth. By the
You know
way,
what?
by the way, when I send out an announcement for Tuesday's study group, some of you have been attending, I found a large print version of the Kaddish, which
Right.
I find it's just easier with aging eyes to read it and make sure that I could actually see the vowels. So I'll send it
Yeah.
out to everybody. It just works
We're
out a
gonna
lot.
try the hokey pokey. Let's try the whole thing together, slowly.
Terrible.
Let's try to stay together. Nobody speed up, nobody go too slow, just perfect, just straight ahead. All right, and then, okay, and so we remember that Kaddish and Kiddush both come from the root Kodesh, which means holy. And you saw there was a lot of talking about how God is holy and God is glorified and God is on high, and so, but don't confuse Kiddush with Kaddish. Okay, don't say I'm gonna sponsor a Kaddish. I'm gonna sponsor a Kiddush. Okay, let's go. Slow,
You can
stay
sponsor
with
the
me.
Kiddush
I'll
after
be the
the
leader.
Kaddish.
Okay.
I'm gonna need some wine after today's class.
Baruch
Maybe
atah
try next
Adonai
time.
Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
All right, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's start.
5
with the
o'clock
Yitzhak.
somewhere.
Where are we?
The Kaddish.
We're at the beginning of the Kaddish, and then we're gonna get into Passover.
Yitgadal. Yitgadal. That-
No, that's a Chatzi Kaddish on Shabbat.
Well, they
So
say
when
them
you
all
don't
the time.
sing, when you say the morning's Kaddish, that's a Hatzi Kaddish.
Okay.
Okay, that comes after the seventh Aliyah, and they say the names of all the people who were sick, because I Gabbai Rishon and I do that, but that's with the melody. This is not a melody. This is
Now I'm
somber.
off wrong.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yitgadal.
Yitzgadal. V'yitzgadash.
Shemei
May Rabbah. V'omah. V'ra. Hirutei. Yamli. Malchut. V'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Agala Bizman Hariv the Imru comes Amen. Next section. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach Olam Ula Olmei Olmaya Yitbarach Yishabach Yitmar Yitromam Yitnaseh Yithdar. Next line. Saleh Yithalal. Don't eat there. May Shisha. Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Chata V'nechemata Da'amiron V'olmor V'imru Yehei Shalama Abba Min Maya V'chaim Aleinu V'imru
Amen.
Osei
Amen.
You know, I
Okay.
think we
So
sound
that's
like
a
the old,
mouthful.
I think we sound like the old fashioned Cheders where everybody's talking at once, you know, but we don't stay together.
That's okay.
It's
As long as
hard on
everybody's
Zoom.
in their own brain and their own space and
Right.
they're working at it, that's okay. All right, now,
Problem is
I
they
don't know,
that slowly. I can never keep up.
well, they go fast, okay? But you could lead it slowly and, you know, when my rabbi does the morning's Kaddish, he does it very slowly. So does our cantor. And for that, they are much to be praised because people who really need to say it may be the very ones who cannot say it so fast.
Yeah,
Right.
my rabbi does the same thing. It's in slow-mo
Yes.
and every word is pronounced and then people
That's right.
who don't have a
And
clue
people,
can at least repeat it.
Right.
Yeah.
Ours does it so fast, you can't follow along and you end up just saying watermelon.
yeah, no, that's why,
You know,
and it is an important time in a person's personal life when you know, if you have a yard site, you're remembering somebody very dear to you, you really want to be able to say these words. You know, they used to say that when a man had a son born, he's my Kaddish. He's my
Yes.
Kaddish.
Yes.
Because the boys.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, and I was a little insulted about this, I'll tell you what happened. My Chabadnik son-in-law, when my father passed away, he said he would hire a yeshiva bucha in Israel. He would pay for someone to say Kaddish for the 11 months. And I said, no, thank you. I appreciate the gesture, but no, thank you. I'll say Kaddish for my
Right.
dad. You know, I didn't want him to say it. I didn't want any yeshiva bucha, somebody who didn't know my father,
Right.
to be hired to say it. Was my obligation. That's my, chiyuv,
Right.
because he didn't consider that I was worthy, I guess.
I was 24 when my father passed away, and I said, no, your brother, who was kind of an atheist at the time,
Yeah,
he should do it. He wouldn't do it. So then they said, no, we'll pay somebody to do it. I'm going, my top liver. I mean, come on. So it was very, very painful for me for a long time.
I have no one to say Kaddish for my parents, even though I have siblings,
there's that.
but they're not religious. They're not going to say it. And
So guess what, Marcia, you're it.
I'm
You're
it.
right.
I
That's it.
say for
I'm it.
everybody. I say for my family. I say for my parents. I say for my aunts and uncles. I say for everybody, because you know what? It doesn't have to be direct relatives. I even
That's
say for
correct.
non-Jewish, because nobody's there to say for them. And
That's very nice.
I agree with you.
yeah,
That's very nice. But, if you can and you have the will and the heart to do it, then that's a beautiful thing. Because, and I'm sure that you get a good feeling from saying it too.
oh, I
It's a
do.
connection.
I light
It's,
candles for them.
yeah.
Yes. And, and that's what I
right.
teach
And
my
that's
children.
that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
that's right, because I tell them, and I tell them why we celebrate their death, because we don't know when their birth is, what they're going to live, what their life is going to be like. And that's why we celebrate their death, because when they die, we know what their life was like, and we celebrate their life, not their death, but
Right.
their life.
right. So
And
that's
we
what I'm
talk
saying.
about
The Mornis Kaddish has the
So-
word Chaim in it. Life.
Exactly.
So we have a
L'chaim aleinu
tradition.
v'al kol Yisrael.
So we have a tradition, and new rabbis that come to our area, we've almost had to train them unless they are used to it, that our tradition, our congregation is everybody stands, and typically everybody will say it for 2 points. One is to say for somebody who doesn't have somebody there. And secondly, to support those that are saying it and do it in support for them. And a couple of rabbis we've had to train and say, this is our tradition here, because they're just used to only those saying Kaddish to stand and say it, and everybody else sits. Where
That's
we all,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I have, there is a couple, and in the beginning, I would go up to them and I say, who are you saying Kaddish for? And they would say, nobody. Our tradition is, and the woman, my friend, she said, when my father passed away and she was saying Kaddish, she said it was a very lonely feeling getting up all by herself. And so she feels that if she and her friend get up and they stand up, it's like a person is not just standing alone by themselves.
Exactly.
reciting it.
Yeah. And
But
had
I
to-
don't,
Yeah, I had to get used to it in my conservative synagogue, because in my Reform congregation in New York City, which was overseen by a female conservative rabbi, we all got up for the Kaddish to support the people. And those who were newly mourning, if they felt comfortable, would step forward to get a little extra support. But I like the idea personally of a whole congregation standing up, because again, it's also in support, not just of the mourners, but those who don't have someone to say Kaddish for them.
those are the 2 reasons that we do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
like
very
it.
nice.
No,
So
there's,
we don't have that in our synagogue, but I understand it and it's very beautiful. Faye had to leave. Bye, Faye.
Bye,
Shabbat
Faye. We'll
shalom.
see you.
Bye, Faye.
Bye.
Carol, there's another point too. I had my husband's yard site last week and I have my mother's this week. And it dawned on me that although it's important for me to say Kaddish, and I even say it for my brother, because I know nobody in his family will say it. I started thinking, when I'm gone, who's going to do it? My children are very supportive. They speak Hebrew, but they're not in the loop to say Kaddish. So I went out and bought a bunch of memorial candles, and I'm distributing it to them. And since we're on Zoom, I've let them all know that tonight I will be saying it for my mother, and if they care to join me, they can. And so
Wow.
far I've heard, I have 3 children. So far I've heard back from one that's going to do it, and I'm sure the second will do it. And therefore, when I go, I feel like there will be someone to do it for me. Because otherwise, I can't blame them. They haven't been indoctrinated, I guess is the word.
You know, and you're correct. You're
they're
correct because,
not educated. That's,
yeah,
well, they didn't go to Hebrew school or?
Yes, they all were bat mitzvahed. And I know they would say it for me on Yisker, on Yom Kippur, because they've seen me do that. But to do it in the home each time it comes up, I mean, I do it for my parents. I do it for my husband's parents. I do it for my aunt and uncle who had no children. They just haven't been in the loop for that. So
Yeah. Well, that's a wonderful thing. We're sharing some very wonderful ideas.
I should have done it a long time ago.
yeah.
Never
And
too
you buy,
late.
and
Never
you
too
buy
late.
Yiska candles by the case on Amazon because it's very cheap.
Oh, yeah?
I buy them 24 at a time on Amazon.
Thank you for telling me.
Oh, no, very good. They have very good deals. You never have to worry about anybody
Stock up,
local running
everybody.
out. And they have glass, they have metal ones from Israel, and they're like 50 cents each. So Amazon for
So
Yiska candles.
a Yiska is coming up. It's the 8th day of
Yes,
Passover,
as day of
right, Eileen?
Passover.
Yeah.
And
So
I
there'll be a Yiska,
market-
and then there's
market
one on
station,
Shavuos.
we
So
don't
we're
have those
the Shalosh Regalim
I had to go to the
on
kosher
Shmini Atzeret. Okay, this is my Haggadah that I have many art Haggadahs
So
and
many, yeah.
intellectual Haggadahs, women's Haggadahs, but this is the one that I bought a supply of. And there's even some wine on the front. You can see it's been used. This is the one that I have when I had 25 people, 30 people at a Seder. I bought these. They're nice and big, the print and the important prayers. It doesn't matter which ones you use.
Mhm.
They all have the same contents, unless it's
Please,
something
Carol,
like a
that's the one
woman's
my
Haggadah.
Susan, you and I have the same one. Yeah, my husband has the big one and he said I could borrow it for the class.
Very nice of him. You know, so even if you have a fancy one that has beautiful pictures, is one by Elie Wiesel that I have, and all different kinds of authors and everything. It doesn't matter because eventually all the important parts will be in every Haggadah, and there'll be a lot of other stuff, poetry, whatever, but they have to have the basic stuff. So it doesn't matter. So I wanted to start from the beginning. The word Haggadah, so we say in English Haggadah, but it really Haggadah. And in Hebrew, Agadah is like the story portion of the Talmud, Agadah. Haggadah comes from the verb lahagid, which means to tell. So Haggadah, it's the telling shell of Pesach, the Passover story. Haggadah shel Pesach, the telling of the Passover. Okay, so that's what it means. Now, what I wanted to go over today, well, beginning, you can read all the, you know, we'll cover all the main stuff, you know, but we won't do the search for leaven now. Does anyone want to just explain quickly the search for leaven? When do you do it and what does it look like? And it's a fun thing that we've done with the kids, even though the kids are really in their 40s now. We've done this since they were small. So if you look in my book on page 2, it says before the ceremony of searching for leaven, a candle is lit with which to conduct the search. Does anyone want to say how you do it? How do you do the search for leaven? It's called bidikat, the examination, look for, livdok, bidikat, examination, search for chametz. Chametz is what you cannot have during Passover. Anything that has leaven, all the good stuff, cake and cookies, cereals, and all the rest. But how do you do it at your house? Anybody want to say how they do it or how they want to do it? There's a kit. Anyone know what I'm talking about? A kit?
Isn't it
We used to give this out in Hebrew school.
The kids used to come home from Hebrew school with those.
Oh, I think I have it. Hold on.
Yeah.
I do. It's funny. It says Vidikat Hametz set. The set in Hebrew letters set. Okay. So I was at the kosher butcher and I said, I better get this because I'm no longer teaching in Hebrew school. And I used to always get one that when we gave out to the kids. So there's a nice spoon, a wooden spoon, of course, which is flammable. It'll burn. And a nice feather. And a candle, and here they have, it's a Hanukkah candle. And this doesn't, and then, well, we're going to need a little bag, a paper bag. So what we do is somebody holds the spoon, somebody has a feather, and somebody has the candle. So we put a little tinfoil cup around the candle. And this year it's going to be different. I know I have to ask the rabbi. And so let's say Passover came on a Thursday. On Wednesday night, the night before Passover, you shut out, turn the lights. So we would hide in the bathroom because you don't put the bread in the bathroom. So we would all go into the big bathroom and hide. And one person would take 10 pieces of bread to symbolize, and I don't know the relation here, but the 10 sons of Haman whom we just hung on Purim, and distribute them in the rooms. The garage is not a room. We don't put it in the laundry room. Rooms that are inhabited, we don't put it in the bathrooms. And so now there's 10 pieces of bread scattered around, and it's dark. It's after, when the sun goes down, after sundown. And so the searchers, I like to be a searcher. My husband is usually a hider. I like to be on the search party. We have to have a candle because it's dark. All the rooms are dark. No lights are on. You shut off all the lights. And somebody has the spoon and somebody has the feather. So we go searching, and it's like a hot and cold. So we play hot and cold in Hebrew. Kar is cold and cham is hot. Or you could just say hot, hot, hottest, boiling, steaming. Or you can say cold, freezing if they're in the wrong spot. So we go along, and let's say I boop right here, I spy a piece of bread. So they put the spoon under it, and the one with the feather shovels it onto the spoon, and we put it in the bag. And we do that and go around the whole house, 10 pieces. Now I have the last of my chametz, because if I'm a good girl, I've cleaned my house, I've changed my dishes, my pots, my silverware, I've got everything in the world. And this is the chametz I'm going to burn. The next morning around 10 o'clock, and it usually says here around 10, we go out in the back, and I used to have a dog who would dig a hole, but these dogs I have now, they don't know from that. We would dig a hole, and then we would put the bag with the feather and the spoon, everything is flammable, and put a fire to it, light fire to it, bring matches. And we would bring the book, and I would say this prayer in Aramaic. It says the search for leaven is conducted after the leaven has been gathered and wrapped securely the following. We said that the night before. And then the next morning, there's another Aramaic prayer. You can see by all the olives at the end. And that's Biur Chametz, we burn the Chametz. So if I ever move from my house, they're going to find remnants of spoons, feathers, and animals. Oh, my pets back there. You're gonna find some interesting things if they ever want to put a pool in. Okay,
So this
let's
year,
go.
I have a question. So this year, since
Yeah.
it starts on Saturday night, then you do it on Thursday, correct? Is that correct? Or would you?
I would imagine, we were just talking about that. Tomorrow when I go to services, I'm gonna ask the rabbi, but I would imagine we'd have to do it on Thursday and burn it on Friday morning because you can't burn it on Saturday morning. Did anyone tell you that, Susan?
No, there was a discussion, I think, actually at my synagogue the other day on, we had some meeting.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. You're gonna search on Thursday night, burn on Friday, because you can't do it on Saturday night once it's Shabbat. Right, and then the burning on Sunday would be okay, but you can't burn it then on Saturday. I mean, if you're really, following the law. Okay, so now we come to the order, and that's nice because it's a little song, a little melody. So that is Siman the Seder Shel Pesach. Okay, the order of the Seder of the Passover Seder. Does anyone know this? Am I speaking to people who've never heard this before in the Seder? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. It goes da 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 dum dee 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 dee. No. Okay, let me
Yeah, I
see.
know.
other-
I can't, where can I, why can't
Anybody
I
else?
find it? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the way we start. And you have, it's the table of contents. It tells you the main sections of your Seder. And of course, the word Seder means order. And if you're in Israel, if you're in Eretz Yisrael, and somebody says to you, Shalom, ma nishma, you're going to say, Beseder, hakol beseder. Everything is in order. Beseder means in order. Beseder, everything's fine. Beseder gamor. Great. Beseder.
Carol? Carol?
Yeah.
Are we, my daughter called and, they don't do that often, so I have to take it. Are we all looking at a particular Haggadah?
No. Any Haggadah, look in the beginning of the Haggadah. They'll have the order.
Okay.
Which, show me your Haggadah.
I just got this though. It's a special one from,
Doesn't matter, special,
No,
not
mine doesn't.
special.
This doesn't have it.
Okay, look in the
Doesn't have the
beginning.
order.
Open the Haggadah.
I did,
Open
I
it
did.
up. I have that one, the family
Yeah.
one, yeah. Open it up to the beginning. And it says order of the Passover Seder.
yeah, my other ones do that.
Yeah, another one that does it, not this one.
Yeah,
Really?
I might
I'm
have.
surprised.
Well, I got search for.
Mine doesn't either.
All right,
have
keep
it in my
going.
women-
After
I
the-
have it in my women's Seder, in my feminist Haggadah. I
Oh, I
have the
have it
order.
here.
Okay,
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, it's like
Is
on
it
page,
this?
yeah, everyone is gonna have it.
yeah.
They're all gonna have it because
This
this
is a
is the way
nice
you start the
short one.
Seder.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I'm gonna sing it and then you'll sing it a word at a time after me. So it tells you what you do. It goes like this. Kaddish urchatz karpas yachatz magid rachza motzi matzah maror korech shulchan orech tzafun barech halel nirtzah. Did you find it?
No, I'm gonna go get another one.
And this one's a really good one.
Okay, but this is the beginning. So if your rabbi had a model Seder or the second night Seder, he would start like that. And that's how we taught the kids in Hebrew school. That's how you start. And it gives you the whole about the washing the hands and reciting the story and all the rest. And then saying the Birkat Hamazon and eat the Apikomen and the Hallel and the whole thing. Okay, let's try it. I'll say it one and say it after me, okay? Ready? Kaddish.
Kaddish,
Urchatz.
Urchatz,
Karpas Yachatz. Karpas Yachatz. Magid Rachza. Magid Rachza. Motzi Matzah. Motzi Matzah. Maror Korech. Maror Korech. Shulchan Orech. Shulchan Orech. Tzafun Barech. Barech. Halel Nirtzah. Halel Nirtzah. Okay, so My Haggadah has a big picture of
Carol, what's your
a big
email?
picture of the my email, 6 months,
Oh, right, 6
SIXMUTTS,
months. Right. I'm sending you this and maybe you can share
six dogs at,
because it's very
okay.
clear. 6 months, what?
Here is a picture at optonline.net. So you have 5 items here, and if you look at your parcel, you look at your Seder plate, it always made me crazy that there was an extra cup. So they have the shank bone, the egg, the bitter herbs, the charoset, and the parsley.
I know what happened to
Does
that.
anybody have a picture with 6 items?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
You see that?
So I was driven crazy. I was wondering, why were there 6 items that we put out and the book only has 5? So can anybody answer that?
Yeah.
What's the missing item from the picture?
Matzah.
Nope.
No,
No,
I have
matzah's
salt
on a
water.
separate plate.
Mine has two different bitter herbs on it. Does yours have 2
Hey,
bitter
you-
herbs?
Birds and one
Yes.
is,
Yeah.
No,
carpus.
all right,
Katseret, they call it. Katseret.
right.
I use-
Like,
Oh my God.
that a bitter herb, so romaine, we put some romaine, but I don't think that's bitter. I love romaine. Anyway, that's the one.
No.
So
Well, that's for
shank
carpus.
bone. Anyone know the name for shank bone?
Zeroa.
Roa.
I'm.
The egg,
I'd rather.
Eitza.
good, betza, egg, betza is egg. The bitter herb,
Maror.
maror. And then there's another one, chazeret,
Katseret.
that you said you have it on your plate. Then you have the mixture that looks like the bricks with the nuts, the walnuts, and the
Karoset.
wine and all that. Karoset. And then the parsley,
Karpas.
karpas. Okay. So the parsley is a symbol of spring. All right. Now, I know that it's 5 after 2. I'm not going to teach you the Kaddish now. Maybe our last Passover class. We'll do about 3 classes on Passover, because I don't want you to get confused with the melody from the Friday night Kaddish. So I'm going to leave that go for now. And I think we're going to end with the 4 questions. Well, does everybody know the Shehechianu?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a special melody that I
My book
learned.
explains the six things. Is that what you were asking?
Yes. So
Okay.
the 6 things,
This book,
but my book, which I used for years, only has 5.
okay, this book.
So when I was a kid, I was wondering, there's 6 cups on the plate, but I only
But
saw
one is
5 listed.
maror. One is maror by itself, and one is maror for the Hillel
Right.
sandwich. Is separate.
Which is chazeret in Hebrew. There's 2 bitter herbs,
Yes.
because later on, we're gonna make the Hillel sandwich, and we're gonna put the charoset in the lettuce or in the romaine. All right, so the melody, which is used in the Kaddish, is I repeated here. So if you could find the blessing for the Shehechianu. And it
What-
goes like this, Baruch atah Adonai, the Shehechianu.
What page is it on, Carol, in the book?
Well, in my book, it's 7.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. So it's a different melody than Hanukkah, because the Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, haolam, there's 5 notes there, haolam. Shehecheyanu, V'kiyamanu, V'hihiyanu, Lazman Hazeh. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
No.
No.
Don't think so. Well, that's the way I learned it. All right, and then you have the blessing on the parsley. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari ha'adamah. So we're blessing fruit of the earth, which is vegetables. They grow in the earth. So it's blessed is the borei pari, the fruit of ha'adamah. That's where Adam came from, the earth. Ha'adamah, borei pri ha'adamah. And so you eat it, but you don't wash your hands. This is just a ceremonial thing. We're not really having the meal. I mean, you wash, but don't say, wait a second, the vegetable. Yeah, wash, but don't say the blessing. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, wash the hands, don't say the blessing. Don't say the blessing on the hands. I mean,
I have
wash the
washing
hands.
do you wash the hands before you do the blessing over the carpets that you don't eat? Because that's what I have. I have washing the hands.
You're gonna
with
eat
no
it.
blessing.
Wash the hands, don't say the blessing.
Right, and then I have carpets.
That's on the washing of the hands. Don't say the blessing on washing the hands.
Right, don't say the
Because we're
blessing,
not
washing
gonna
the
have
hands.
challah.
And then you do the carpets and you say the
Wash the
blessing,
hands
but you
and-
don't. And don't eat it.
Wash the hands and then you're gonna eat it. Yeah, you're gonna distribute it.
You're gonna eat, yes, pass it and dip it in salt water and eat it.
Dip it in salt water and pass it, right?
Okay.
So you're gonna have to say the blessing on the vegetable on the
Right.
karpas.
Say the blessing and then you eat it.
But you don't say al netilat yadayim. You're not gonna say the blessing on the washing, because we're not
No,
eating
no.
bread.
Right.
We're not having challah. We're not having matzah. This is the appetizer. Okay, and so I'm not gonna go into the small print. Let's just do the questions. Now, there's two melodies that are popular for the 4 questions. One I learned when I was a kid, which is kind of like just a saying it, like Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelo. Then, but now the kids learn a sing-songy melody. They go
Okay.
Ma nishtana like that, right? Kids will learn that. Does anybody know that? Do we know it? No?
I think so.
Okay, so really, somebody has said to me, there's really only one question. What's the question?
Why is this night any different from any other night?
Right, and the others are 4 statements that explain, that give the answer. On all other nights we do this, but tonight we do this. So there's one question, but there's one question and 4 answers. So the question goes like this. No, really. So it goes, Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelos, mikol halelos, shebechol halelos anu ochlim Ametzu matzah. Ametzu matzah. Alayla hazeh kulo matzah. Repeat. Alayla hazeh kulo matzah. Now, can anybody do that first one? Anybody want to do the first one?
Read it.
So
as
the
opposed
first
to
one
singing.
says about unleavened bread and leavened bread. Tonight, we
Okay.
only have matzah, we only have unleavened. Does somebody want to do the first one?
I can't
Does
find
anyone want to do the question?
Carol, I'm sorry,
Somebody
I'm gonna
wanna
have
do-
to leave. So,
Okay, all right, we're gonna wrap it up in a minute or so. Does anyone want to do the question, Ma, Nishtan? I will review everything next week. Can somebody do the question? Weren't any of you kids?
Yeah, sure.
Alice,
Do it together.
Alice, Alice, go ahead.
The first one, right?
Ma Nishtana.
Yeah.
Okay.
question
You're
too.
slow. Manishtana halayla hazeh mikol halaylot.
Brava.
Shebachol halaylot anu ochlin ha chametz
Chametz.
umatzah.
Okay, that diamond just shows that's like the end of the sentence.
Okay. Halayla hazeh bulo, no, chulo. Chulo matzah.
Great, great.
Keep going.
Can anyone do the next one? I'm going to sing the next one and then we'll ask for someone to do it. And I'm going to W all the firstborn. I'm not the first one. You're all going to be the youngest. No matter what Seder you go to on Zoom or anything, you're all the youngest. You're all 8 years old again, going to Hebrew school. All right, Elaine, want to do the second?
Shabehol halakot.
Halelot.
Ohalin she'ar yarakot. She'ar yarakot. Halayla hazeh.
Halayla. And we join in. Maror, maror. Halayla, maror, maror. Everybody usually joins in on the second part with the halayla hazeh. Okay, the third one, a volunteer.
I'll try.
Volunteers are scarce. All right, Susan Winter to the
Okay,
rescue.
we'll see. I don't know. Okay. Shebava halelot.
Shebachol.
Shebachal.
Shebachol. It's a chaf.
Okay, Shebachal halelot.
Shebachol.
Shabachal, right, that's right, I'm sorry. Right, Shabachal.
Shebachol. All. That's any. Mhm.
Okay, should I go on or halelot?
Yeah, read the question.
Anu.
Ain. That's a nun.
Oh,
Ain.
Ain. Oh, it's an N. Okay. You know what it is because it's such big print. I'm not used to it. Ain anu. Mat. Bailey.
That's a tet. Mat.
Right. Mat. Be lean.
Yeah.
Philo. Afilo.
In my stomach.
I meant right. Afilu. Wait a second. Pa'am. Edhot. Hot.
Alila.
Oh, hi, Lila. Hazeh. Shate. I know it's with the
That's right.
Shate. Fa'amim. Right. It's fa'am.
Fix. It's not fa because there's no
it's a fit. Okay, right.
Sound
Okay,
of the
right. I'm sorry. Fa'amim.
It's a shva. Amim shete amim. Okay, so shebachol halelot ein anu matbilin afilu pa'am echat halayla. Join in halayla. Halayla hazeh. Shete amim. Again, halayla. Halayla hazeh. הלילה הזה שתהי. You know, my Chabadnik son-in-law, they have each kid, they have 5 children. Each kid does the whole thing. So you're sitting there and you're starving to death, and it's late anyway, because they always start late because he's examining the romaine or whatever. They start very late, whenever it is. We're till eating at 3 in the morning. So each kid has to do all 4 questions. We're just starting. It's just the beginning. And then he does commentary in between. You could die from hunger. We're eating, we're having soup at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
By the time I get to Birkat Hamazon, I need to shluffy gain. All right. Can anyone do the 4th one? Thank you, Susan. That was great. Now this one is about sitting, leaning to the left. Somebody want to try leaning to the left?
I'll
All right,
try.
Carol. All right.
Shebcha halelot anu ochlin ben yoshvin uven mesubin halayla hazeh
Kulanu mesubin halayla hazeh kulanu mesubin. I am amazed. You guys are really reading terrific. Now, again, the plural in Aramaic has that final nun, which we're not used to seeing that final nun on the end. We usually have a final mem in modern Hebrew, but misubin, leaning, and yoshvin, we say yoshvim, we're sitting. Yoshevet, anachnu yoshvim. So there's a nun, a final nun on the end, where we would expect in modern Hebrew a mem. So we know it's Aramaic. So then everybody joins in. All right. And then somebody has to say it in English. I'm telling you, by the time we finish with the 4 questions, I'm ready to go to sleep. So by the way, this is the new Women's League pin, Biachad, together, that I just got a bag full from Women's League to distribute because they were late in getting made. Did anybody get one? Did anybody know about this? Is Biachad, it says on the top, together. It's nice. I have a whole collection from many years already.
Too.
So we are going to end on a high note on the 4 questions, the 4 kashas, Arba Kushiot, and the 4 kashas, and the 4 preguntas.
Is that Yiddish, Carol? When you say the 4
What's
kashas, is that Yiddish?
Yiddish, the 4 kashas.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in my family, they know kasha as something good to eat.
Yeah.
Kasha, my Russian background.
Love it.
Have kasha.
The pin that you have, that's your Women's League?
Yeah.
Not the Torah
That's
Fund
my new Women's League.
It's
pin.
Torah Fund. It's Torah
Yes,
Fund.
it's the Torah Fund.
It's Torah Fund.
Yeah, you
Torah
don't get
Fund.
that unless
Torah
you
Fund.
have to make a Torah Fund donation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you better believe it. It's $180 donation.
Yeah, yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why
I'm the co-president. How would it look if the president didn't have one or didn't support Torah Fund?
Right.
Not very good. This is my 2nd time around being president. The first time I was president, now I'm sharing with somebody. It's a lot of headaches. It's a lot of work.
Oh, I have to go. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, we're all gonna go. So study the 4 questions, study the order of the Seder. Maybe I'll send out from my book, a nice big reading. And we'll continue, we'll do Dayenu, and we'll do some fun songs. I know a lot of the fun songs, so we can do that. I'll teach you how to do them in Hebrew and in English. All right, so you'll be prepared for your Seder no
Okay.
matter what it looks like. All right?
Great.
You're gonna,
Great.
Be
See you next week.
Be healthy, be
Carol,
well.
Thank
send
you.
See
some
next
of the
week.
will you send some of those we'll be reading? I have 4
am.
Haggadahs here and I'm having trouble.
I'm gonna send it. This one is really nice. It's nice and big. I'm gonna send it from
I
this
think I
one.
have a bunch
and-
of those packed away.
I
Yeah,
just
and
sent.
I'm gonna send what I'm gonna do from this week and next week's. I'm gonna give you, so have a little package we'll start with. And we'll all be on the same, literally the same page.
Thank
Good.
you so much. I appreciate that,
Right?
Carol.
And get your B'dikat Chametz kit, and then you can have fun. You know, I'm the biggest baby of all because I'm the one that I used to paint the kitchen, you know, the day before Passover, crazy. But I'm the one who says, I'm gonna stay in the bathroom while you hide it, and I want to go and find it. And I never find it. My kids always find it. But I wouldn't, even if it's 1 a.m. and I've been cooking all day, I insist that we do this.
Shabbat
So-
shalom.
And so it will be.
Shabbat
Have a
shalom,
good
everybody.
Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Toda rabah,
Shabbat shalom. Alo davar.